born in California, but my parents made Aliyah to Israel when I was 7, so we've lived here for 14 years. We moved here this summer, it'll be 14 years ago. Amona, it started as a dream of the young guys who lived in Ofra, which is the bigger settlement down below our hilltop. Kids and guys who were growing up there, they had this dream one day to come settle this hilltop that was totally barren and empty. There was nothing here. And they used to climb up here just to play around and walk around here, and that was like their dream, to one day build a community of their own. And when they were old enough, they finally actually did. A few guys moved up here, some students, some people who were just single guys and girls and lived up here. There was nothing here. It's a very strategic point, it's very high up, and you see there's like a big army base right over there that you can get pretty good view of what's going on there from here. Well, what's going on now is, actually it's been going on for quite some time, quite a few years already. Some activists of Peace Now and of different leftist movements in Israel have a hobby of going to look for Arabs that are listed as owning lands in these kind of places, which, as far as I understand, is kind of a legend. There's a legend that when they wanted everything to be like orderly and written down, so they took a piece of paper and they just took people around and said, okay, you are listed, and this land up to here is yours, and it's listed in your name, and this is listed under his name, and this is listed under, even though they had nothing to actually do with these lands. They didn't really ever live there or cultivate them or do anything. It was just they wanted to have a nice and orderly kind of list of who belongs, what belongs to who, and somehow that's what I understand. I don't know, I've never seen that actual list, but that's what I have understood, because these lands are listed under names of Arabs who nobody really knows where they are, what happened to them. Some of them are not alive anymore, some of them are, some of them... So the people are looking for them to try to find ways to... Don't they have to prove that this land belongs to them before we are actually evacuated from here? Why does the government decide, or the High Supreme Court, they decide, no, you have to be... They say the land is theirs, so that's it. You know, they don't have to prove anything. They don't have to bring any papers, anything proving that this land is theirs. It's kind of, it's a little strange, but, and in general, the Arabs, they're building freely. They expand and they build, and nobody says anything. Nobody can, even if they said anything, and if they tried to stop them, the authorities are scared to go into their villages. They're afraid, and nothing's going to happen. The Arab population, the Palestinian state or whatever, they owe so much money to Israel for electricity, for water, for all sorts of things, that we're so nice and we don't cut off their electricity, we don't turn it off, we don't stop giving them water and supplying, but they don't pay for anything. That's just like some example from other places. I don't know, it could be that they have permits in the village right across here. We see them building all the time, but I don't know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But if they do, go for it. I'm all for it. Go build your, build the lands that you have permits for. But why, I don't know. I don't understand why they're so bent on evacuating a place like this. And truthfully, I don't even see what they're going to get from it. No Arab is going to come live here. These lands are... It's so close to a 600-700 family settlement of Jews. It's a high strategic point. Nobody's going to let them come and actually live here. It's not like they're going to do anything with these lands. It's just for the point of saying, we're getting these settlers, we're getting them out of here, we're going to show them. That's what I feel. It's like looking for justice where nobody really wants it. It's not even that these Arabs are looking for this land. I hate to say this. I feel that it's my brother and sister Jews who are looking to get us, and not, I don't know, it's very provocative. That's what I feel, and it's sad. It breaks my heart. I wish it wasn't like that. They ruined houses here 10 years ago. Why? For nothing. It was just a political issue. It was just for a political reason. Nothing happened afterwards. It's very frustrating to have this feeling that you can't decide where you want to live. I want to live here. This is my home. I'm connected to this land. I raised my kids here. I have a wonderful community here that I love, and that kids need nature. You need places to walk around. I can't raise my kids in the city. So we looked for a place, and we found Ofra, and we moved, and we bought a house planning to move there. And then we met somebody who said, oh, well, why not Amona? We're like, what? What's Amona? We've never heard of that before. She said, well, come and see. So we came for Shabbat to check it out, to just see this place. And it was much smaller then. There were only like 18 families, and it was much less developed. And as we were driving up this winding road, you just see the nature and the stones and the plants. And I don't remember if we actually saw a deer then or not, but you could see deer running around the mountaintops. I love it. That melts my heart when I see the deer. And my husband said, "Wow, I feel like this is like, deja vu. It's like this is where I know this place. I've seen this before." Somewhere in my subconscious, he felt that he was on his way home. He just said, "This is it. I know this place." And I was like, "Wow, that's very strong." It's like, but yeah, it's like when you find a place, then you grow there. You have children here. You raise your children together. You get to know the people, and people help each other through happy things and sad things and different whatever. And it's very hard to have somebody come and say, "Okay, your community is not supposed to exist. It's not legal. You have to get up and leave." I mean, it has this feeling of, that's what Jews have been going through, for thousands of years, is people coming and saying, "This isn't where you belong." But hey, we're in Israel now. This is where we belong. We're not in some country in Europe or in some other place where, I mean, if people feel they belong there, that's fine too. I don't have anything against people who still choose Jews who live in Europe or in the States, or everybody in their own place. And I have a lot of friends who I love dearly who they don't belong in Israel. They feel that they don't belong here, but I feel that I do, and this is where I want to be, and this is where I want to grow old and keep growing. And it's very hard when somebody comes and forces you out of what you feel is your home. And
where do you go?
I don't know. I really don't know. We're really, I'm telling you seriously, it's very hard for us to even talk about this. It's very hard. It's very hard to bring up this issue, even between me and my husband. I mean, we talk about it once in a while. We're like, what are we going to do if this happens? But we're praying a lot that it won't happen. And I feel that the right thing for me specifically, I know there are other people who are also looking for I don't know. I think most people here, in general, I can only speak for myself, actually. But my feeling is that as long as I'm here, and I'm in God's hands, and I don't know what'll happen afterwards. But if I already now start looking for some other place, then I feel like I'm already giving in and giving up, and I feel that that's wrong for me. I believe that this is where I am now, and I believe that God He's great. He can do things His own way. He can have, a miracle can happen, and anything can happen. There's so many things that can happen, that things can just change. So I try not to worry. I can't say that I'm not sad and that I don't think about it, that the kids don't bring it up. And now they're building a new playground finally in our neighborhood. And my 6-year-old daughter said to me, "Oh, Ima, I'm praying that they won't evacuate Amona now, because look, until they finally built a playground, won't it be a shame to ruin Amona now?" I was like, "Yeah, sweetie, it would be a shame." However, I really don't understand that, because when Amona started 20 years ago, Arik Sharon was the one who said to them, "Yeah, go for it, go build there and start a place." And there are recordings of him saying that. And the houses that were destroyed here 10 years ago, the infrastructures were built by the government. So it's very hard to understand what's going on and what's real. I don't know. We have a peach tree here that we planted on the day that we moved here. And I felt so bad. I'm like, this might be the last time that we have peaches. And what if we're not here next year? And I really felt sad. I said, wow, I can't go to that place of saying, oh, this might be I don't know. It's living very ambivalently between these two feelings of being rational and saying, on the one hand, also in Gush Katif and also in Migron, people prayed the whole time that it wouldn't happen. We were also there, we prayed that it wouldn't happen. And it's very hard. It's very hard to see that, yes, it did happen. And what's God trying to say to us, and to actually continue living with that and still believing and being full of trust in God, even though you see that the settlements were destroyed and people and families fell apart and people were devastated by what happened. And here we are again saying, well, we don't know whether it'll happen or not. So I pray every day, and I ask you to all pray for us too, that we'll still be here and that we can grow and cultivate this place and fulfill all the prophecies of in the Bible that still need to be fulfilled, and that we may grow old here. And so I bless the government, and I bless all the people who can decide things otherwise, that there can be something else, things can change. People can look into their hearts and find something else that needs to be said, or that things can change. And I bless them that they believe in themselves, to listen to their inner voices and find a place in them that has compassion and love towards Jews who want to settle the land, and not only towards Arabs who feel that their land has been taken from them, even though this never really belonged to them. And it's sad that that's the way it is. I do believe that we can live in peace with the Arab nation if they want to, but they don't seem to want to. I do believe that there are a lot of Arabs and a lot of Palestinians who do want to live in peace with Israel. I know it's very hard for some of them to get up and say that, because they'll just be killed or whatever, but it's very hard to feel that this is threatening my life just because they are feeling... I don't even know what words to use for this. I believe that if the Jewish people will be strong enough to believe that we are connected to each other, first of all, and be connected to God, I think all the problems with the Arabs will find their right place and the right proportions on their own. I pray that we build the Holy Temple on Temple Mount. I pray that we live a life connected to God in our own place, in the place that we're supposed to be. And I bless you all that you should also find your own homes and your own places, and wherever you are, be connected to God and be connected to the soul within you. And
can you tell me something about the life in this community?
Sometimes I feel like life here is too surrealistic. It's just... I love living here. It's very simple. People here are very simple. I mean, if it weren't for being afraid of terrorists coming in, we wouldn't even lock the door at night. I mean, people here leave the keys in their car, and neighbors say, "Oh yeah, I need to go get something. Can I take your car?" People just, are very connected to each other, very there for each other. My kids sell slush here as an afternoon business in the summer. And they can just leave like 100 shekels out there on the table, and I'll say, "Hello, would you, collect your money and bring it inside?" They're like, "Why?" I'm like, "Because maybe somebody would take." Well, nobody would take. They're very naive and very innocent, but they're growing up in a place that allows that, and people here are very true. And I love the people here. When a woman has a baby, so everybody's there for her, making meals and helping her out with her kids. And I don't think I cooked for like a month after the last kid I had. It was like, wow, okay, this is nice. And people are just there for each other and willing to help out when somebody's sick or when somebody's...
You're living in a safe place.
Yeah, we don't have a fence around Amona, which some people say makes it more scary or something. But other people say actually it's the opposite, that way the Arabs or the Palestinians are scared to come closer because they know there's no fence. We have cameras and there are all sorts of security things that make it more difficult for them. Yeah. Electricity, water, we have air conditionings.
Okay.
We even have a slush machine.
Yeah.
There's 2 kindergartens here and a boys' school up to 8th grade and youth groups. So we have a library. We have and everything else that we need. We go to Ofra, which is our big sister. We have the supermarket and the vegetable store and the doctors and all that, and the school. All the girls here go to school in Ofra. Some of the boys too. And different kinds of people here. Some consider themselves more extreme religious, and some are less. And there are women who cover their hair, women who don't cover their hair. We have the whole variety here.
Okay.
And a lot of different political views. I don't think it has to do with extremists of any kind. I mean,
you're just normal people like everybody.
Yes. I think I don't know. I think also people who are considered extremists are also normal people. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of extremists who are very dear people and are amazing people and are very frustrated with their way of life. And I don't think that means they're horrible people or that. And I can understand what they're going through too and what they're feeling. And I know personally there was somebody who worked here for a while who is considered an extremist or or other young guys that I know who are considered extremists for basically for nothing. And it's also, you can look at it both ways. The Supreme Court says, oh, they're very dangerous, they're doing this and this and that, but they're not really doing anything. Or they haven't really done anything. It's just people are freaked out about the slight possibility that maybe something will be done, or it's very complicated. It's not, things are not as simple as they seem on the media. A lot of extremists are amazing people, and they're actually very normal. There are people who work here. There are people who work in Jerusalem or in other settlements around here. A lot of people are teachers. Some are. Most people have normal jobs. I teach afternoon classes for little kids, teaching Bible stories, and we act them out and things like that. My husband has a publishing business here. He publishes books. He has an office here. There's somebody here who's a blacksmith. There's somebody here who raises sheep. Yeah, we have a synagogue. It's on the other side of Amona.